Well, I talked about doing another garden update, and I'll try to do it today, though it is kind of windy. But I've got a handkerchief tied over the microphone. That might work. Okay, these are those apple trees that I planted that I had so much trouble last year with over winter with the rabbits, and I finally had to send them out because they nipped off a lot of I had the 2 feet of chicken wire, but the snow got too deep, and then they started chewing on them. So I sent out the rabbits, and now I've just disked this up with the disc behind the David Bradley because I am going to seed some oats in there as a kind of a cover crop to hold the ground, and keep adding grass seed to it, and gradually that'll sod over, is what I'm looking for. Okay, over here in the garden itself, these where I got all the viney stuff this year is right on the end here. I plant them in hills kind of. I've got cabbages, which are doing nicely, but there the cutworms can't get at them because I've got them cans around them. There's beans here, but they ain't doing much. And little kohlrabi that my sister-in-law had some extra seeds. I planted between the beans and the peas. These peas aren't doing anything. I think they're sugar daddy or something peas, but they just ain't taking off. But these are Alaskan peas. By golly, they jumped right up there. They're doing good. So I'll have peas to eat. I don't, I've canned peas, but I don't really care for peas. I like them raw, but that's about all. 3 different types of onions, and they're all doing fine. Those strawberries, the wild ones that I transplanted, are right here, and a lot of them are blossoming. And I think I'm going to bring some more over and fill this whole area here between the fence and this row in with those wild strawberries. And these things that I think are chives, well, I see they got a blossom on them too. I don't know what they are. Again, sister-in-law gave me some. These are the potatoes that I planted that were potato peelings. Now, they got up pretty high. Then we had that 20-degree night, froze them off, but they're coming back again. Because, potatoes get a lot of eyes on them. Rhubarb's fine. These are those multiplier onions. That celery took a beating, that's an Italian celery. When it froze, that went down, but that's coming back. I don't think you could kill that with a... I don't think you could rototill it. I don't think you could get rid of it. These are another type of multiplier onion that didn't behave as well as these others. These others really took off. There was some white ones and some yellow ones. I don't remember. I think these are the white ones that they were good. Yellow ones not so much, but we'll see. Here I've got another kind of celery planted. This is the garlic here, which is doing fine. Parsley is planted here, though it's just coming up, so I can't get too close on the weeding until things start showing up. This is dill. Okay, a herd of tomatoes, but okay, this is that water can that was down in the other garden. And I did figure out that the only place it's leaking is right at that seam. Well, I'm going to hammer that flat and solder that. Do a little other body work on it. But I do have this other water can that I use. But I use them a lot. That way I can leave one in each garden and I'll be okay. The one thing I'll say about a water can though, like this one has got bigger holes in it, which is nice because it doesn't plug up as easy. This one, if there's any kind of sediment or anything in the water, it immediately plugs it up. Plus, it's nice, this one you can unscrew to clean it out. That one, I don't know, it's just stuck on there. I haven't been able to move that one. Okay, this is that rake that was down in the old garden. Well, I rescued it, brought it up here, put a new handle on, and there again, Bowman handle. You're a lot better off fixing your old tools than buying new cheap tools. Okay, these are tomatoes, a whole slug of tomatoes. Now I had to go through today and kind of grope around underneath them because I'm still having trouble with cutworms. But cutworms are only like down a 1/4 inch deep. So I went around to each plant and kind of worked the ground up with my fingers and got any of the cutworms out that were around the plants, because if they're going to be there, they're going to kill them. And that way I can get, well, like here's one I haven't done yet. This one I did, this one I haven't. I have to do that. You know, I just go around and grub around, gets rid of all of the little weeds. And, okay, see, here's a cutworm. Well, if I wouldn't have found him, well, 2 of them. So that's why I went around to each one and did that. Gets rid of all the little weeds and gets rid of the cutworms that are just lurking. There's a 3rd. You know, I killed a lot of cutworms today, but that gets rid of all that little weeds. I will mention when I rototill this, I've got them spaced in this, it's what they used to call checkering, this pattern. So I can till them this way, I can till them this way, and I can till them the long way. So the only place I'm going to get weeds is right in the plant, you know, so that doesn't, if I get in there and get the cutworms out, I'm in good shape. Okay, now that white butterfly means I gotta watch them cabbages. In fact, I would love to kill that butterfly if I could, because they are the ones that leave them. Oh, well, I shouldn't have stopped there. That's the carrots. But I did get a pretty good catch on the carrots. There again, it's a hard thing to weed until they get up where you can actually see the fern, you know. Now this is radishes. And they are all growing nicely, and I have been eating on the radishes. Now I've made some changes over here. That hill, see, okay, there used to be a ridge right about even with this fence post. What it was an old fence line that used to run here. Now a few years back I had the property surveyed, moved the fence over to where it belonged, but I was still left with this high ridge. Well, I don't mind that one little hill, because that actually is a good spot for my wind charger tower. But the ridge was always a problem, because you could never mow up to the fence line. You'd flip the mower right over, you know, so it was a little treacherous. So I took the tractor, knocked the ridge down, and I've been disking it now with the David Bradley, and I'm going to plant oats in there today because it's supposed to rain within the next couple days. I'll throw oats down, I'll disc it again, then hope for the best. But my scheme, by knocking that ridge down, I filled in a kind of a low spot here where the vehicle is sitting. And this is where I plan to put up a greenhouse, kind of a combination greenhouse and tool shed. So it'll be big enough that I can put, you know, things like the rototiller and whatnot in it, but yet have a greenhouse off to the south side. Now if I can get through the fence one-handed without tearing myself up. Now I'm hooked. Yeah, barbed wire's fine stuff. Well, when I put that greenhouse there, I will put in a gate. That'll help. Okay, after I tore this all out and leveled as best I could, though I wanted to leave that hill there because I need to be able to get I want a flat spot on top of the hill so I can take the tractor up there to lift the loader high enough to work on the wind charger. So I left a big enough flat spot. But I picked up a cherry tree and planted here. Now I had to put steel posts around it because anytime you tear up sand like this, the first thing that happens, the horses want to roll in it. Well, they'll accidentally roll over a tree. So hopefully that'll protect it. It's got the plastic to keep the rabbits off it, but we'll see what happens. But see, this area up here is pretty big and flat, so I can pull the loader up here, raise the loader all the way up, make it a lot easier to handle that wind charger, because that power unit is very heavy. The cement has got to come out of here. These pieces are, I used to have it in a different location, and then I had it's cemented that way here too. But I cut the bottoms off because I'm on this high hill. I didn't need it that much, that high. And that stuff is tough. Tried to break it up, it don't break up. Okay, but part of the plan too is here, by having this high hill, I will be able to put, I've got a, it must be 400 gallon water tank. I can put up here and irrigate both ways, you know, the garden on that side and the garden on this side. Now here, I've got corn. I've got the late sweet corn and then the early sweet corn. This is Indian corn. And this is popcorn that is just starting to come up. I planted that quite a little later. Then there's a bit of a space in here, and I have 2 rows of kidney beans. And they are coming up. So, well, looks pretty good. Then, this is turnips in this row. But see, here's what I was worried about. You know, these kidney beans, like I say, they're just coming up. And that's when you got to watch for gophers, or rabbits, or deer, or kidney bean, everything will eat it. But the turnips, I see them coming up too. And if they didn't come up, it wouldn't break my heart. I mean, turnips are okay, but it's more a turnip than the guy needs. Now, one of these is Yukon potatoes, and one row is the Norland Reds. I think this was the Norland Reds here. And they are coming very well, though there again, some of them, like here you can see where it came up, then we got that cold night and it froze them, but now they're coming again. I don't think that'll hurt them, but I do have more seed if I need to. But yeah, they're doing good. This is darn good ground though. But that is the story. Oh yeah, kidney beans are coming good. And there's where some hole caved in. There might be a pocket gopher lurking. They tunnel. But you can see it's kind of funny, you know, when the kidney bean comes up, the bean comes up and then pops open. So if I can keep the critters, oh, and I do have, you know, from here to here is an empty space. Well, I got some plants started that'll go in there later, but right now that's empty. I tend to like to leave a little room for if you find something else you want to put in. And the scarecrow is looking a little ragged, a little slumpy. Maybe have to do a little doctoring on him. But Oh no, looks good. Though it has been dry. Like I said, we need rain. Especially if I get that oats put in. But things are looking good. But that is your garden update. Well, it is if it works. If you can hear me and the wind ain't howling in. We've had a lot of wind lately. That's where, when I say about the wind charger tower, I moved it here. I used to have it quite a little north of the place because we used to get north winds a lot. Well, somehow the jet stream was changed in the last like 10 years. Most of our wind, like today, comes out of the southeast, where it always used to come out of the northwest, but now it's almost a directly south wind coming. Just a change, but the spot for the tower will work fine. And I got the power poles all up. I just got to screw on the insulators and run the wire. But by building the greenhouse in that particular spot, and tool shed kind of thing too, I can put the controller box, which isn't, it's just a panel, for the wind charger in there, and at least temporarily put the batteries in there. So it's just one more project. But right now I'm trying to get, make sure I get all the garden stuff going. But I got a good hold on stuff now. If I can just keep them cutworms down. And hopefully I won't have trouble in this garden with the cutworms, because they could go at a bean or at corn. It's a total possibility. Oh yeah, here's some of the popcorn poking through. But that was planted quite a little later. Even the Indian corn was quite a little later, but that really sprung up. But it's nice to have the two different types of sweet corn. One comes in early and one comes in late, so you don't get it all at once. That way, you can start eating sweet corn. By the time the second stuff is ready, you're kind of tired of eating sweet corn, then I can can. Though I still got a heck of a lot of corn cans from last year. Enough to easily last me through the summer. But that's part of my scheme with these kidney beans is I always end up buying kidney beans. Well, might as well grow them. If the critters will let me.